Jay Dust was a soldier.
Battlefield,
Hold the line!
thunder in the sky, Union colors waving as the soldiers ride. A young man stood where the cannon fire rained. Jay Dust held the line while the whole world changed. He volunteered to fight for freedom with the Union by his side. Through the trenches and the cannon smoke, he never turned and ran or hid. Hold the line, he shouted loud, don't give them an inch today. With his revolver in his hand, Jay Dust refused to walk away. This was Jay Dust's last stand, with a revolver in his hand. Through the smoke and through the fire, he stood when others couldn't stand. A shot took his eye, another took his leg, but they couldn't break the man who refused to bow his head. Jay Dust, remember his name. He walked into the fire and came out changed by the flame. The enemy came through the smoke like a storm across the land. Jay looked around at fallen men and made his final stand. He raised his pistol to the sky and shouted through the flame, if you want this ground from me, then come and take my name. The battlefield went silent for just a moment in the rain. Then a rifle cracked across the field and nothing was the same. This was Jay Dust's last stand, with a revolver in his hand. Through the smoke and through the fire, he stood when others couldn't stand. A shot took his eye, another took his leg, but they couldn't break the man who refused to bow his head. Jay Dust, remember his name. He walked into the fire and came out changed by the flame. One eye gone, blood on his face, one wounded leg couldn't slow his pace. He fell to the dirt but reached for his gun. The battle wasn't over, not while he could still fight on. And through the smoke came Jack Dust, calling out his brother's name. Jay, leave me, not a chance, brother. You're coming home. Jack pulled him from the battlefield as the cannon shook the ground. The Union line still fighting while the smoke came rolling down. Jay had given everything, his blood, his strength, his sight. But somewhere underneath the pain, there still burned a light. This was Jay Dust's last stand, the soldier who would not break. He lost his eye and wounded leg, but never lost his faith. From the trenches to the frontier, his legend carried on. The soldier became a gunslinger, and the gunslinger rode on. Jay Dust, one eye beneath the scar, a revolver on his hip, and a heart forged in the war. Jay Dust, the West would know his name. He survived the battlefield and walked out through the flames. The battlefield fades into the night. The Union flag disappears from sight. Years later, beneath a western sun. A one-eyed gunslinger rides on. And when the dust begins to rise and strangers hear that revolver ring, they remember the soldier who refused to surrender. Jay Dust, the man who survived his last stand.